We all know that SSO within the past few years isn't what it was back then, both positively and negatively. As each day passes with more videos speaking up on SSO's bullshit, so has the increased rise of the forsaken white knights of this community that tear down others for having a different opinion than them. Today, we'll be discussing these comments that have created multiple battles and reveal the actions and behaviors people have taken. This will be an educational series as we analyze these comments and give feedback on how the situation could have been better, how to deal with white knights, and of course, what could white knights do better to not come off as an asshole or a piece of shit. So that way, instead of having reactions like this—
How dare you! Do you have any idea how much they've accomplished in their career? Kim Namjoon has more talent in a single toenail than you do in your entire pathetic existence, and you should be grateful you get to be alive at the same time as them. You don't deserve to breathe the air that they breathe, you disgusting piece of—
and have more cool shit like this. This is Cursed Comments. Disclaimer, this is only for educational purposes only. We are not promoting any bullying or witch hunts here. Come on, y'all. This ain't supposed to be tearing other people down. We're supposed to at least help each other in this forsaken world that is the SSO community. Hello y'all, my name is Moon and welcome back to my channel. And also, welcome to the first episode of Cursed Comments, where I dive into the comments of SSO posts or videos related to SSO and analyze them and critique them. So how this will work is that we will be basically looking at random comments from different posts relating to different stuff. Some will mainly be just based off of what the common denominator is for the topic, and some will just be based off of particular updates. So this is gonna be mainly consisting of updates probably from the first roadmap of this year, so that's what we're going to be diving into. And also, if we encounter a white knight, I will be clarifying what degree of white knight that we are dealing with. They will be increasing from 1 to 5, and here is the explanation of each degree of white knights to see where some fallen. Let's start with the first degree of white knights. These kind of people, they blindly follow SSO and are under the false beliefs, but they are actually still able to still be respectful. Now, this is different from people that actually just love SSO and aren't being rude. This is just people that don't have the right facts, and that in itself, they still will stand by what they say slightly. Degree 2. This person will still blindly follow SSO and their false beliefs, but they're more passive-aggressive. Meaning, there's a little bit of a hint of disgust that they don't like about somebody's opinion.
Actually, Megan, I can't sit anywhere. I have hemorrhoids.
Degree 3. Now this is your more average white knight. They're rude, and they will listen to what you have to say, but they will still believe what SSO says, and they will very rarely actually become more respectful to you in a conversation, so consider yourself lucky if they actually end up being more respectful.
Hey, kids, Patricia! Honey, can you be quiet? I'm just trying to do something.
Degree 4. Now this is what we like to call the hard category in a video game now. They're very rude. They use some reoccurring arguments with very little cooperation and actually having a discussion.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Wait,
Degree 5. Now this is the most extreme. They are very toxic in short and long comments, and they use every typical argument that we have heard. For example, if you don't like it, don't play, or ungrateful, you know the drill. They also still use disproven facts that we as a community have figured out. For example, they would still use they have a quest team argument or 2 separate teams argument when in fact they don't. They only have people focusing on horse shit. And these people are actually very stubborn, and it's very hard to actually see if they're actually listening to what you're saying, and this also ends up leading to toxic positivity or just bullying remarks straight out of the gate.
Look me in the eyes. Climate, don't change. You are better than they. Don't listen to those billion-dollar companies. They're just trying to make you mad. Don't listen to this. Isn't the you that we all know and love. Baby, just think about the ice caps. Think about the ice cap. Think about Antarctica.
So now that we have the degrees out of the way, let's get into the cursed comments.
I love how people are finally starting to stand up for SSO and point out that there are a lot of people that look forward to these new horses and no one is forced to by them. I get so annoyed when I see people complain about the game when the biggest selling point to the game is horses.
Oh god. Nina, the game is horses and story, and people pay for horses and story. And one of those things hasn't been updated in years. The most we get for main story quests is maybe an hour. And that's after years of waiting. People are fed up with SSO releasing horses for money and solely focus on making money. Older players are fed up with being left out for newer players who SSO caters to by showing off all the fancy repeat events. And new horses and the newer players will soon become older players once they run out of quests like older players already have. Older players are the backbone of the game. We stay here to fight for what we have been asking for and still get ignored for newer players.
Been playing going on 4 years. Still haven't finished the story. Not all people play for the story at all. It's a bore. The story isn't well written. Hard to believe anyone over the age of 12 would play SSO for the story. If story is what a lot of adults are looking, there are hundreds, if not millions, of RPG games.
Oh honey, I don't think you realize that people have grew up with this game. Most of the adults who played the original games that SSO is based on when they were kids, so they are invested in the story and world building. And many of the older players have been here since the very beginning of the game, which is about 9 years worth of time, and are being left out. It is fine to prefer the horses over story, but a whole portion of players that have been here since the start are being mistreated and ignored by SSO because they prefer making money over pleasing their customers and pumping out more story quests. So to further critique that comment, here's the thing. The White Knight in this situation, you're basically undermining people's upset, because here's the reason why. The reason why people, as like Miss Eula stated, these are older players that most of the time are speaking up about SSO's bullshit. You may think that people over 12 don't play this game. However, you're forgetting the fact that since this is geared towards kids, more than likely you're going to get players that have grown up with the game and have gotten older. Look at Wizard 101. The reason why that there's still adults that play this game is because they played this game since they were like 9 or 10. That's why it's a common thing with childhood MMOs, because people like to revisit their childhood and they're invested and they love the story that they have to offer. In all honesty, honey, you got an attitude. Here's the thing. At least you were a little bit more civil. I would say you're like a second-degree White Knight. The reason why I say this is because you are a little bratty, but you did at least stand your point, at least why you believe in it somewhat, but it just comes off as very rude. And this is just in general with a lot of White Knights replies, they just come off as very rude.
It's a horse game, so they release horses. LOL. It's great. I love all the ponies and horses you're bringing out as those. Thank you so much. Can't wait.
Susie. I really want to say Susan. Susan. It's a horse game with a story, and said story hasn't been updated for years. We got an hour-long quest to save a main character like 2 to 3 years ago at most, and then save another with another year between the last. The story hasn't progressed as rapidly as horses are released. They even came clean about not having a team to work on quests, which is a big part of why people play, not just for horses.
And yes, while Van understand that, I also realize that they can only do so much. I'm grateful for the updates that I do get.
Okay, that's good for you, ma'am, but understand that a horse game is more than just horses themselves. So I would say she's more of like a first degree, not necessarily as one of the more extreme ones so far. A horse game. A game needs gameplay. Not for some fucking reason is not a priority here. And that is the truth, because sadly, SSO don't give a shit about content, so we have to do this shit ourselves. It's a new model of a horse that they're selling just like every other breed. Exactly. The game is becoming more and more boring. I just hope they start to listen to their players a little bit more.
So what? Would you rather have them update all the horse breeds to new models, or instead having everyone riding around on an animated potato with a neck and legs like it used to be?
Okay, first of all, the Gen 1s aren't even close to potatoes. Oh, Jesus. We got ourselves Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a 5-degree White Knight here. Very extreme. Personally, now that a bunch of new horses have been coming out, I would rather have them focus on questing because Star Stable isn't fun for me if all I am doing is wandering around on my horse.
They come out with one horse breed every month. It's been that way for a while. We got a long quest not that long ago. The quest took over an hour to do if you read all the dialogue and then just skip through. But you all hated it because it was in Wildwoods. And apparently for some reason, everyone in the community hates Wildwoods now because it has NPC Wilds.
So, the reason why this White Knight is a 5th degree, she's actually basically trying to divert your attention from what you were talking about by trying to make you focus on hating Wildwoods. First of all, man, that quest did not take over an hour, and this is coming from someone that read through the dialogue and didn't use no transport. How long this took, by the way, that bitch took me 22 minutes. And I read the dialogue. The reason why people don't really like Wildwoods isn't because of the NPC Jorvik Wilds. Well, yes, some people don't really like it because of that. The main reason is because Wildwoods is very empty. There's really nothing else to do after you do part 1 and 2. It's just a vast area of nothingness. Like, it's deserted. Barely anybody goes there. So, a little critique, ma'am. Do not be this aggressive in your replies. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you're being aggressive for no reason. There's no reason for you to be this aggressive towards them. Gather your opinion nicely and explain how you feel about the topic at hand. Don't try to divert away the attention of what people are trying to show why they are upset about. Actually give your reason why you think you like it, and then be in a more respectful manner. And another new horse I won't buy because there's too many horses already and nothing to do in the game.
Stop playing then?
That's the sad part. I have, for the most part, I open the game 3, maybe 4 times a year on major holiday updates, and once if there's a main quest update.
Then what's the problem? No one's forcing you to play the game.
So the reason why there's an issue with this, Ms. Girl, because this is a very common argument a lot of White Knights use. If you don't like it, stop playing. Now let me ask you something. Do you think that really solves anything? No. And let me tell you why. It doesn't solve the players' upset that they have with the game. It doesn't solve the issues of getting players hurt. It doesn't solve the issue of being valid about other people's opinions. You're not really giving validation to other people's opinions by telling them, stop playing the game and go somewhere else. That doesn't help the situation, nor does it make it better. All that is just going to make people more upset, and then you're going to end up starting a battle royale. Or, if you're very lucky, someone's going to give you an educated response on why they are upset. And I must probably say she like a 2nd degree. It's attitude, but not to the point where she's trying to hammer your ass. Oh boy. This is about to be good.
These are permanent additions. That means they do not leave the game. There's this wonderful thing called patience. Maybe go be productive elsewhere in life until you can afford star coins or let your star coin build up if you get the weekly allowance. Understand that you don't have the latest and greatest thing released ASAP. I'm sure everyone can survive without until one can afford it. If not, that's just sad.
Seriously, please reevaluate yourself.
At the end of the day, a video game is not the most important thing to be focusing on. It's a luxury we get to enjoy. SSO doesn't have to give us updates, big or small.
It's always the big ass paragraph ones. Oh Jesus. I need to take a minute.
Okay. Estelle doesn't give us updates big or small every single week. I appreciate their attempt at updating older breeds, even if it's not a breed I'm particularly waiting on myself. There's someone out there that's probably been silently anticipating the update of a breed you may not care for. For me, the anticipation was for the AQH, APH, Appaloozas, and Mustang. Now there's only one left on my personal list that hasn't been updated. I want to see old models get an update regardless. It's a company trying to better game for what seems to be an ungrateful player base. I'm sure there are many players that stay silent and are grateful for the progress. The whiners give everyone else a bad image. Not to mention, they have been releasing horses monthly for a long time now. They stated that won't be changing, and there's a whole different team that does quests, and quests take a lot more time than horses. Plus, these guys aren't coming out until February 16th, which is right on the track for a monthly release. They're just showing us early and giving everyone a heads up. I don't see a problem with that. If they were constantly releasing limited edition horses, that would be one thing. But these guys are permanent. Exactly. I feel like this is them just update the graphics to match everything else. We all know if they update the models and put them in place of the old models in player stables, there'll be an uproar. Because some people like their older models, so they give the option of keep the old or purchase new. Honestly, love if you could trade old models for new if you didn't want your old ones anymore. Those whiners, quote unquote, and complainers, quote unquote, are probably adults supporting your buggy as hell game to keep running. You know where they have to spend real money they earn just for one pixelated horse for $30? Even saving for weeks, around 2 to 3 months for one horse roughly, is only enough for one horse if you're lucky. Or you bought said horse with your saved up star coins, but they released a limited edition right after. They're releasing too many horses at a given time. Why not wait for 2 months before next release? Give people some time to save up for said horse. People are actively paying to play this game via subscription method if they didn't go for the one-time lifetime buy. Since they are investing their hard-earned money into the game, they have a right to voice their concerns and complaints. We are consumers. SSO is a business. If they fail to meet the basic requirements that the business claims to have, people will voice their opinions, concerns, and complaints. It's not whining when you're investing real-life money into a product that isn't meeting basic standards. You know when game-breaking bugs take a week or more to fix? Example, people using cheating softwares in championships, even when players brought it to SSO's attention, didn't bother to fix it ASAP. For a company making millions, you'd think they'd like to keep their player base happy, but it didn't get fixed ASAP despite it affecting actual gameplay. At the end of the day, adults are mostly supporting SSO with how much these newer models cost. People are allowed to complain. Stop telling people they're ungrateful when the game they love has so many bugs that affects their enjoyment. Use your head for a moment. Y'all give this lady a round of applause. Hallelujah. We got ourselves some relief in this toxic ass conversation. It is whining when you are aware of what you're signing up for, but do nothing but complain. Don't like it?
Don't play.
Subscriptions can be canceled, you know, unless you've bought lifetime, and they can get...
Be patient.
Let your star coins build up. They're a business and will do what business do. I found bugs here and there, but that's a side effect of games in general. The few I've run into, I didn't encounter for long, and were absolutely not game-breaking. Not saying they don't exist, but they are not so bad that no one can play. You also realize that they have to find the source of a bug, right? They don't just pull up a computer and it points them directly to the source. Someone has to sift through and figure out the why before they know the how when it comes to fixing it. Adults are supporting the game. As As an adult that helps run a business that's been going successfully for 50 plus years, I could say it's wise to know when and where your money is deemed well spent. What goes towards necessities and what goes towards luxuries. Don't whine because you can't afford something you don't need to survive.
Find a way to make it possible for yourself.
And if you don't like the way it's being done, turn in a job application and offer to fix it yourself with your own hours and skills. Use your head for a moment. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Ma'am, you just revealed that you're probably like a 60-year-old woman or something when you said 50 plus years. Ooh, girl, she's coming. People with legitimate concerns are becoming shoved into this category. I've seen this happen to many times. Stop belittling people who have actual concerns, yet SSO dismisses said concerns and valid complaints. It's your opinion if it feels like people are, but at the same time, you have at least be tolerant of it. I've seen comments here and there that longtime players, the ones playing for 6+ years or more, that they are tired of SSO ignoring their concerns, including valid ones of all these bugs not being tackled or fixed for a long time. There's been several videos on YouTube on how SSO treats its consumers when they report said bug. Even a few Reddit threads here and there. If you need to Google search for you, I can do that for you. SSO is not some nice business, as you said. It is a business. However, they need to meet basic standards. Paying a broken product is not in the terms of service, just saying. Also, the fact that there had been bugs in the game for months, people report it over and over and it's still not fixed. And it's affecting their gameplay. SSO isn't doing basic maintenance to keep their bugs at a minimum. They are piling up. I've seen so many posts asking SSO to fix filling out bug reports, and they are still in the game after months. Sure seems they're taking it seriously. Dude, do you even read my comment? It's very clear you didn't. When horses cost 800 to 900 star coins, that's almost about 27 to 32 USD, not including taxes. If they cost that much, they should have way more than enough money to be doing basic maintenance on their game. They make millions. They have little to no excuse to do basic upkeeping on their products. Also, I don't care. I uninstalled back in December because of how bad and buggy the game has gone. Shaman's gone down this route, only trying to help people wanting to continue playing, yet SSO isn't trying to improve their product. Only about horses instead of actual new content to keep players busy / happy. New horses isn't content. Races isn't content these days anymore. Hell, even Winter Village was half-assed attempt for 2021. Shame, really. I would love to. However, previous employees have commented it was not a great area to work in. Why would I want to work in an environment that has a very bad atmosphere? Not good for the soul. Here, read through some of these comments from Glassdoor. They're pretty recent within the last year, 2021. Some good, some bad, but interesting to know. And that's Glassdoor, baby. You may be fine with the game, but a lot of longtime players are very unhappy. Stop trying to belittle their experiences. Maybe seeing their side of the issue will help you understand a lot better. Y'all give Miss Kate a round of applause for having to deal with this bitch. Oh, Lord Jesus. First of all, I would have to say that definitely the main bitch that was trying to act like she was real smart with her job comment, I would say she's definitely a 5th degree. She went as far as to being very disrespectful with the, if you think there's an issue, why don't you do it better? That mentality. I hate that mentality. And Miss K, she hit every point. This is what I like to call a classic case of also what a lot of white knights deal with, and I think this is a lot, is the denial. I feel like a lot of white knights are in denial about the fact that SSO is in a very shitty position right now, and people need to realize that. And I find it very sad that we have to basically defend ourselves a lot whenever we are speaking up on people's opinions. Now, this is also something that happens with people that are just, actually generally saying they like the update. Good for you. However, please at least acknowledge that there's a lot of shit going on with SSO, and we are not mad at you for liking and updating the game. No one's really mad. They're just trying to give their own opinion, just like how you are. And here's the thing, this girl, this is like a grown-ass adult. If you're a grown-ass adult, more specifically like a 50, 60-year-old woman, be respectful, miss girl or miss dude. I'm just baffled that she just admitted that he or she just admitted that she's like, that they're like, I don't know, fucking 60 years old or something.
Like, goddamn. Or honestly, could just be one of those hand-me-down businesses. I don't fucking know, but still, like, goddamn, be respectful. The Appaloozas are out for 2 weeks, and we have another new horse. I'm sorry, but this is a bit overwhelming.
No one says you have to buy them right away, or even at all.
Well, it's not about buying and spending money anymore. No quests, no character updates. Game is boring. SSO doesn't really listen to us. I'm not excited for new horses anymore, or this game at all, and that's a problem SSO should focus on, making people excited and curious about this game again. And it looks like one of the White Knight comments got a little cut off on my end. But there was a reply up towards that comment. Yes, they have different teams, but that makes it easier to make quests. The only reason they bring out horses every month is money, money, money. And what do they use it for? I don't know. The game itself is getting worse and worse. The quality is bad and the servers are laggy. I get they need money, but they got millions and the servers are not getting any better. I've been playing this game since the beginning, but I'm getting so annoyed about the fact they never update the things that needs updating. And yes, I get it. Updating characters is a difficult task because all the clothing that needs to be fixed in all the quest scenes, but they got money enough to hire more people for that kind of updates.
Worser is not a word. If you know how to do coding that is required to do everything you're requesting, have at it. If you don't,
Zip it and let them do their job.
Actually, they don't have dedicated teams. JC said in one of the interviews last year, there are plenty of YouTube videos about this topic. If you read the monthly blog they are doing, you will see the character update is in the works. It's not as simple as just updating something, but be grateful. It says be grateful. They haven't left us to the dogs like Rockstar have with the Red Dead Online community. Really, Tara? Really? They don't have different teams. This has been stated by SSL themselves, and they also try to do damage control, by the way. They don't have different teams. This is a myth. They peddled for quite some time, but SSL themselves said this isn't actually the case very recently. Money is the name of the game.
at the end of the day, if you aren't happy, don't play the game. It's as simple as that.
Grateful for what? Opportunities to spend money? We're the consumer. We're actually allowed to have a viewpoint. That's the way consumerism works. Amen. You can say that, but when you spend more than 700 euros, oh Jesus, on this game, you have the right to have an opinion and open up about that. Amen. White Knight is basically saying you can't critique the food because you're not a chef. When we have taste buds and we can taste how the food tastes.
I mean, only time sub is a must, and compared to other games you pay for that price, there's still a lot more content in the Zelda than other games for that price.
Oh, so you think that SSO has more content than Skyrim? Or Black Desert Online? Or Wizard 101? Okay. Lol, they don't even know their own characters to be able to continue the story anymore. And watch Element or Nightwalker on YouTube, it's all very depressing. Yeah, that's easy to say, but I wouldn't claim it's an argument. Not for Star Stable at least. How could they tell me if you don't like the game, don't play it? This way they would lose so many potential customers. Just giving up on something won't solve the problem. Alright, critique for White Knights like this. When it comes to White Knights in general, you have to basically be able to state your facts and also stay composed. Because if you show any least bit of emotion that you are visibly angry, they will take that anger and use it against you. And what Miss Girl was using, as I was stating earlier, she's basically using the equivalent of saying you can only critique it if you actually have that particular job. Here's the thing. You don't have to be an expert to see that a game is lagging. Look at YouTubers that play games, especially in high-end things like Overwatch and shit. They don't gotta be huge experts about how to make a game. If they can clearly see that there's performance issues of lagging or glitches, or hell even typical actual hackers, it's just common eye. It's basically, especially if you're playing the game for a long period of time, you can clearly tell there's a difference. You don't have to know about coding to say there's an issue with this game and that there's an issue with particular breeds. It's all a matter of using observant skills to look at how the game looks. Take the Frisian, for example. Yes, I'm gonna probably refer to the Frisians a lot because, once again, I hate these Gen 3 Frisians to a pulp. You want to know why? Go to the episode 1 of my documentary and go down into the section where I break down each issue of the game. You can very visibly see that that horse is the buggiest damn horse in this game, without a doubt, in my fair opinion. If you think any other horse is buggier than that, props to you. You can tell from how the mane is. And if that isn't enough for you, look at how the reins are still clipping into our horses after 10 plus years. And for those of you thinking it's not doable, I guarantee you, if they didn't have issues with their tech depth, we would probably have better animated reins today.
This comment section, we get 1 horse breed per month. This is normal and has been happening for so long.
Please get with the program.
A handful of people complaining on it every single month is not going to change that. I would guess they're posting an early teaser because the new breeds constantly get spoiled. And it's nice for them to be able to post their own horses first. They're working on the engine and quests and characters and bugs right now. Currently, this takes longer than horses. Horses does not mean no quests. There are different teams. Please go read their new blog post for more info on what's going on with the game from those who are working on it rather than bugging the poor social media staff.
Okay, so the first off, I would have to say that this girl's probably like a degree 4 in the White Knight category. And reason why I'm saying she's a degree 4 is because she is trying to act like she's educated, but she's still demoralizing people's opinions. First of all, girl, they don't have different teams. Check out the main quest article. They also tried to do damage control by saying, oh no, that's not what Stacy meant. Oh no, she know what she meant. They don't have no quest team. Second of all, ma'am, I want you to try to actually save horses. Do this at 0 star coins and see if you can save properly for a horse to get the horses each month. I want you to try that. And then come back to me and tell me how you're able to get every horse. And see if it was fun to save. Is it? Another thing, the blog post. I really don't like how they're basically trying to use this blog post as look, they're doing something. Yeah, after fucking 3 to 4 years now, roughly, that we now are hearing stuff about the updated characters. I would advise all y'all to please take that blog post with a grain of salt. Why? Because I feel like they're just trying to overhype the situation with it, and I honestly really don't trust it because it's not really showing much besides, oh look, we finally got a model. I honestly feel like that once this stuff actually comes out, which in my opinion, it's not going to come out this year. I really don't think the characters are going to come out this year. And it's just at this point, based on how they are using their horses for pump out for money to the gods, I highly doubt we're going to be getting a lot of content. So with that being said, don't denounce other people's opinions by having to use and say, look at this blog post, because I would honestly like to advise you as well to please just take them with a grain of salt. Don't act like that this is going to show that, yes, SSO is doing something right. You have to see it through fully. That's why when it comes to the horses, to see them thoroughly. As for also horses getting spoiled, Miss Girl, you do realize that it's very easy to get into their game files to find spoilers. And there's been games that this is probably the only game that I've seen that's probably the easiest to get spoilers. Other games, they basically haven't gotten any fucking spoilers that much. Couldn't even update his model yet. Y'all spread this update over 3 weeks. Think smarter and not harder. This is mega depressing.
It takes time for them to do things. Be grateful that we get update every week. It's not like they can push a button and, a button and the game updates itself, ILMAO.
Okay, we got ourselves a 4th degree White Knight. I've played this game since 2012. This game has gotten lazier every year, and that's the sad part. Yep, yeah. White Knight, everybody watch. Hello there, the White Knight of SSO. Will you please stop sending crap and do some research? Like, come on. Are you working for a multi-millionaire company? They can do better, but they chose not to, and you're not helping the cause. So, as we kind of just seen throughout this whole thing, a lot of White Knights still use the "you're ungrateful" argument, and as well as to the thinking that we are saying something that's demoralizing the company, when we're not. We are just very passionate about the game, and we're giving our critique and our feedbacks and our opinions. Even now, I feel like people still don't realize that we're just voicing, just like how they're voicing, their praise for SSO. But apparently they think we are saying some sort of insult. It's gonna be a matter of time till people realize that the only way the game's gonna change is if we keep speaking up, because if we don't speak up, we're gonna be fucking screwed for the next few years with SSO. Because honestly, if they don't change, this game's gonna be gone. Alright, final comment of this episode. I'll end off with this. How about we stop on horses, as we literally just got Appaloozas? How about some side quests and main story quests for a change? Same here, please, SSO.
Are you aware that's easier to work on horses than on side quests and main story quests? They're in teams working on everything at the same time, but horses just get done sooner.
I might put you as a 2nd degree. And here's why: you're just very unaware about the stuff. They said they have no set quest team in an article. They don't have a quest team. They have stated it. It's the truth. So that concludes all of the cursed comments that we will be reading today. So before we end this episode, let's relieve ourselves with a nice, good discussion comment, or just a good conversation that is actually honest about SSO's state. Alright, the relief comment of the episode is this one from Victoria Diamondford, and she said, "There's almost nothing in the game you can enjoy unless you buy it. And if you don't want to buy it, yes, go online, train your horses in tons of long races to get a little bit of XP. Maybe roleplay or manage a club and then go offline. SSO should be giving us updates we can enjoy every day without buying it. Something that lasts forever, like the photo mode update. That was freaking awesome. I know there will be storyline quests, not talking about them. I'll probably love it if it's done right according to this game's concept. I'm happy after 3 years the official storyline quests continue. But the storyline quests are just something you can enjoy for 2 to 3 hours. Here's total plus reputation quests, I guess." And she does have a lot of good points in here, because I don't think SSO realizes that when we have something in the game that lasts for a very long time, it's what brings in the activity of the players. And especially when we had more frequent quests back in the day, that's what made the game feel alive a lot of the times as well, not just the little things that we do. And I feel like also in terms of what we can do outside of quests is very minimal. Yeah, there is some stuff that we can do, but the reason why people don't really enjoy training or doing daily quests and that sort of thing is because it feels like a chore. It doesn't really feel like something that you would want to get up to every day and spend multiple hours in the game to do. And honestly, since SSO is very much neglecting their content area, I feel like they should consider if the content that they are pushing out is actually good for the game. Because in my opinion, I think SSO thinks that the content they're pushing out is good, but it's not really good. Because the content that we have right now is very short term, which lasts for just an hour or under an hour. And that is all we have time for today on the first episode of Cursed Comments. Thank y'all so much for watching, and next time we'll be looking more into SSO's copy-pasted responses, as well as some responses done by people on the more recent comments now. This is just a little bit of a catch-up here, so there you go. Thank y'all so much for watching, and once again, thank y'all so much for your support, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!